Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for May 2020. I have with me the Radiant White deck. I will be clarifying with Levita Sibila. I will pull, if necessary, uh, an angel answer, a romance angel, maybe both together, maybe only one. But for certain, we'll be wrapping up the Golden Nostradamus. With the Golden Nostradamus, we'll be wrapping up the reading. Okay, I've already done some pre-shuffling and meditation on your sign and glyph, and so I just want to get another good, I've been putting these Sibilas through their paces, and so luckily this is the last reading, and they'll get a chance to get a rest. So I'm going to do one more rifle on these cards for you, and then we're going to get directly into the reading, okay? Here we go. The reverse Seven of Pentacles. The reverse Justice card. Ah, the Queen of Swords. Isn't that interesting? The Hanged Man. The Four of Pentacles. The Hermit. Wow, that's an odd energy between the two. Because the energies are both kind of the same. Everything is kind of frozen or stopped. But one implies that we need to gain some clarity on it. And the other one implies that, you know, if I look at this, eventually I'm going to find the answer. Not only am I going to be able to find the answer, I'm going to be able to help share that answer. Or at least to bring that answer into the third dimension. King of Pentacles. Wow. Reversed. Oh shit. The Death card. Excuse my language. This implies some kind of stagnation. I think this is a legal issue that you have been engaged in or embroiled in or a part of. And that maybe this person has lost all of their money or has lost a significant portion of their money due to gambling, drugs, or just somebody who basically doesn't have any respect for money and what money is. Money is not just something that you can wield around for power. It's really, because if you think about the concept of money, they're pieces of metal and pieces of paper that if you take out the equation of what they're used for, they're just these inanimate objects, right? That really don't have any value. They only have a value based upon the value that we give them, right? That we give them. And so money is an energy exchange. I'm going to give you this piece of paper that says it's worth this amount if you give me something else. I'm willing to exchange this for that, right? But in order to make that exchange, both of those things have to have some kind of value. There has to be an equal exchange in value, okay? I don't know where that came from, but there it is. The reverse Knight of Wands. Indeed, this is some kind of legal issue. With the reverse Two of Pentacles. Do the letters L and B mean anything to you? L and B. I don't know what that means, but there it is. One, two, three, four, and a cross. Look at that. Two major arcana, two court cards. Obviously, you are at odds with this person. I don't know if you're trying to put this behind you and things have been suspended, but I think this tells me that you're going to have to jump back in it. But this tells me that you already know the answer. And maybe you don't know quite what the question is yet, okay? You understand what I mean? But you already know the answer, and you're not trusting what that answer is telling you. And again, L and B, that just keeps coming across to me. You know, and oddly, the two pillars are upside down. I don't know what that means. I also get the sense that this individual, whatever situation financially that he finds himself in, there's a lot of confusion around this money, or the way it's been handled, or what somebody's been doing with it, or the manner in which they've been using finances. But this is a situation of their own making. Okay? I think they have a warped perception of what money and power is all about, and how it can be used in a manner which is neutral, really. But what stands out the most, and there are two nines here. Two nines speak to possible change of address and a house move. But two nines also mean that one of you needs to spend more time alone. I think this guy has been alone no matter what. I don't think anything in this guy's life he's ever done. He could have all of the money in the world, all of the opportunities, all of the advantages, but it doesn't mean anything to him. But this tells me that you already know the answer. There you are. You are right side up at the top of the spread, reigning over this situation. He is reverse looking this way. You are right side up looking that way. And what separates the two of you in the middle is this Four of Pentacles. And so this Four of Pentacles can sometimes be the idea of being completely focused on strictly material and financial gain. It can speak to stable foundations, yes, but it can also speak to miserliness, stinginess, and when there is financial withholdings or financial stinginess, right? There's also a lack of emotional generosity. But I just get the sense that this guy likes to wield his money or his position or his authority over other people. And he thinks he's the shit. But he's not. All right, let me, I'm going to show you. I'll be the last people I'm going to show. Remember how I used to have all my documents on my phone? Well, bam, there's my book. And yes, it's huge. And it ain't even finished yet. Okay, it ain't even finished yet. So, first thing, because it's right at the top, let me read to you this reverse, what do you call it? This card. Unfairness, intolerance, injustices, legal complications, bigotry, bias, and excessive severity. Appearing in a reading reverse, it is an indication that a karmic lesson has been experienced, and you are to fully understand its meaning and lessons. Acceptance is the key. Now, maybe you done accepted it, but he's having difficulty with it. But you know, that's his problem. It may be implying that someone around you has taken advantage of you. It may also imply false accusations and intolerance. You are unable to change things at this time, so your only option is to learn from the lesson. Do not allow it to happen again. Handle the situation as best you can and move on. It may be indicating an injustice or loss in your life. Move on regardless and trust that there's better to come. It may be telling of someone feeling inadequate or insecure. It may be indicating that your behavior may be excessive of late, and this may result in repercussions, perhaps in the form of some kind of fine. It asks you to work within the law, as being issued with fines and penalties is indicated. It may also imply legal complications and setbacks that are imminent. Therefore, avoid acting at this point if at all possible, as injustice and loss are hovering. So avoid confrontations at this time. So let's say you already know what to do. I think the person's trying to bait you for some reason. It counsels against accepting injustice in exchange for a quiet and uncomplicated life, even if this means seeing someone being treated unfairly. I don't know what the hell that means, but there you have it. I look at that all the time and go, what do they mean by that? It tells of a need to stop worrying and to direct your energies elsewhere. It may indicate that in a situation where there was a deadlock, a completely new approach is needed in order to work through the problem and make progress. In negative situations, it can simply resemble imbalance, coldness, and a destructive streak impeding relationships. Now, I can look at 1, 2, 3 cards as they relate to these 4, and that's a cross. So, to me, the cross shape is that of the crossroads, right? You're standing in the middle, and there are 4 directions in which you can go. But the bottom line is crossroads imply travel and clear movement, right? All roads are open unless somebody's blocked the center. Then you can't get around. But again, this card keeps telling me already know the answer to this situation. Let me take a look at the 7 of Pentacles to see if it can tell me anything related to any of these major arcana cards. It does not. Anxiety, impatience, disappointments, concerns regarding financial aspects, stress, nervousness, delays, and postponements. That is the key. Now, it says that a friend or family member may approach you in an effort to gain a loan or to request financial assistance. You must use discernment and not concede if there is a concern about debts and repayments becoming a financial burden. Four of Pentacles. It's right in the center. First, let's see if it means anything. Next to the Seven of Pentacles, it is a message to proceed with your plans and goals as success is around you. So take advantage of this prosperous time. This card is reversed. It doesn't tell me anything related to these cards. Now, the 4 can typically say that you may receive some kind of financial gain or inheritance, maybe through the death or the loss of someone. But here's this guy. And if I had my druthers and wanted to see the death card come out, that would say that shit's completely frozen and it's going to end. But this is reversed, and it comes after the death card. So to me, it's what should be ending and over and done with, I think makes somewhat of a comeback in some way. Let's take a look at this reversed Nine of Wands and see exactly what it means. First, let's see if it means, if we can get, it doesn't tell me anything as it relates to any of these major arcana cards, but here's the reverse meaning. Obstacles, adversity, calamity, a lack of initiative, confusion, failure, conflict, reluctance, stubbornness, and defensiveness. Appearing reversed, it tells that something negative from the past is holding you back today. There he is. That's why I said it's supposed to be over and done with, but for some reason that crap's still lingering around. This undermines attempts to progress, and you are asked to let the past go and to look to tomorrow with renewed optimism. It tells of acting in a stubborn and or defensive manner. You are asked to lower your defenses and take a second look at the issue. It is asking you not to lose faith. You will need to be strong at this time in order to deal with future complications. The long-term outlook is very positive, so stay on course and stay positive. It informs you that you are not applying yourself fully and are lacking initiative. A lack of forward planning will leave you vulnerable to misunderstandings, and delays with projects are likely to occur. To avoid this situation, be precise about your goals. Gather all the necessary and relevant information and use them to reach and attain your goals. See, he's not only a student, but a scholar, but he's also a teacher. Do not take on more than you can deal with. It indicates that proper preparation has not been put in place and plans need to be reviewed. It is imperative that you stand by your own belief set and follow through with your own plans. It is telling you to review all plans, as if you allow things to go ahead, you will find mishaps and obstacles along the way, and this will hinder your progress. It tells of feeling defensive, overburdened, and oppressed. This needs to be seen to and quickly. That's what that says. Now let me read to you. I think you already know what you're supposed to be doing. The reversed High Priestess. Here are the words: ignorance, warnings, misuse of abilities, surface knowledge, in other words, just scratching the surface on something, conceit, immoral nature. When this card appears reversed, it may be telling of someone who is shallow and conceited. This person may be selfish and has a weak character and lacks stamina. It tells you not to place your trust in someone or a situation until you have completely analyzed it and them from all angles, as it could adversely affect an important relationship or support base. It indicates a distinct lack of commitment. It can suggest a lack of inner harmony resulting from the suppression of feelings and the failure to acknowledge unconscious guidance and to go against your own intuition. It tells of a superficial situation involving someone who has a weak character, who lacks enthusiasm and stamina and strength. The person will not be supportive of you. It may be implying that you are looking for support or a commitment from someone close, but it is not forthcoming. It may be asking you to examine all aspects of an issue or situation and be careful who you confide in and analyze everything. It indicates strong tendencies towards mood swings and unstable emotions that can impair your judgment, resulting in jealousy and a lack of insight and tact. At this time, it is difficult to accept advice or counseling from others. I don't know about that. Maybe that's what that is. The desire for secretiveness combined with the inability to share can lead to a waste of knowledge and skills. It depicts unrevealed and or hidden truths and influences. Things may be going on that you are unaware of at this time. It may also be warning of misguided psychic talents. It may be warning to remain vigilant as there are hidden secrets and or a mystery afoot. Now, let me read to you about this king of, this reverse king of coins here. Because he keeps sticking out like a sore thumb. Okay, I think I got him in the front. I think I moved him to the front because they always put the coins at the back. Reversed. The keywords are vice, avarice, weakness, ugliness, perversity, corruption, peril, materialism, overly cautious and obsessed with detail. The reverse King of Pentacles depicts a bitter man who seeks to cause harm and misfortune to others. Working on the negative attributes, this depicts a man who lacks spiritual riches and who may lead a lonely life. He represents a man who is easily agitated and is quick to rouse in anger. It depicts a very weak person who pursues but cannot find satisfaction or pleasure in material things, so he takes his frustration out on other people. It depicts a man who is very materialistic, opinionated, and often who comes across as quite daft, although he sees himself as quite lofty. Appearing reverse is telling you not to put your faith and trust in this man, as he is uncaring as to the outcome. It is also cautioning you to steer clear of any gamblers or speculators who may attempt to manipulate or coerce you, particularly to do with financial matters. It is a warning that you may be dealing with someone who is unfair, dishonest, and untrustworthy. You are warned to double check the fine print prior to signing or taking on anything of importance. It is an indication that all is not above board. You know, I don't know if there's some paperwork that you've been presented with that you've been asked to sign. If you haven't signed it yet, don't. I want you to go back and take it to somebody to overlook it, a better pair of second eyes. And I think we're going to be coming up on a Mercury retrograde here. I don't know if it's June or July. But you need to get the paperwork to somebody, another set of fresh eyes, because there's something in it that's not quite either right or advantageous, or it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. This card. Because I just get the feeling that there's a sense that the whole situation, and there is definitely a legal issue here, you feel that it's been wasted effort or wasted time or wasted money, and you want to rush it along. But look, there are no cards of rushing here. And it says you either already have the answer or you already know the answer. But maybe you're so focused on like putting this behind you, you may miss something. Let's look at this death card right off the bat. Just simply because of where it falls. Okay? You see here, the king is dead. But then you got these people pleading for him. I don't know what this is. But it reads like what should already have been completely finished, over and done with. It is not. I don't think this is a surprise to you. And in fact, I think you've been preparing and waiting on it. the Death card. The Sacerdote. Okay. Usually he's always about legalities. He represents law, legal issues. He could sometimes represent a lawyer, a prosecuting attorney, but a lawyer. And if you are in a battle, a legal battle with this guy, this means that his lawyer is better than your lawyer. So that's what I'm telling you. You need to take that, but maybe you need to get a second opinion. The Consolante Sorpresa and the reversed Melancholia. I think they were hoping you would go away or just accept whatever it was that was placed before you. Let's look at this Nine of Wands. Why? Because it's the last card. But you see, this guy's holding on to a wand. It's a staff. Staffs provide support, but they can also be used as a defense mechanism. You already, whatever it is that is, I don't know what the feeling of this is, but there's something not quite right. Maybe you know there's something not quite right, but you don't know what that is. You don't know where to look. You don't know how it's, what to look for. But it says that you already have the answer right in front of you. The answer's right in front of you. That's literally what that card is telling you. And it has to do with this Four of Pentacles. I don't know what that is. Another Death card. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. Whenever this card appears reversed, if there was a truce, see her white, that's like the truce. But reverse, that truce is taken back, that white flag is taken down, and the shit begins again. Wow. Okay, here we go. Usually a professional person, a jurist. Okay? The King of Spades is connected to justice, the legal system, local authority, insurance, the state, and the law. Upright, it heralds a positive resolution to a legal matter, compensation, and an end to legal troubles. It indicates that someone will take legal action. But it can also be the card of divine justice. And it says that those who have previously hurt you, okay, divine justice will be administered. But if you have hurt somebody else, it says that you're about to get your comeuppance. But generally it indicates exactness, self-discipline, common sense, wisdom, maturity, equity, justice, and obstacles that are finally overcome. But the card represents an adversary. Okay? It says, but there's nothing personal in the nature, for it is part of his profession. In other words, this person could be a good litigator, a prosecuting attorney, a judge, a magistrate, or someone who is an advocate or a witness for the other party. In love, it indicates a relationship that has lost its passion, but could be firmly rooted in the loyalty of another party. It also indicates an old relationship. It also indicates emotional detachment in someone who is in control of their emotions. That's not this guy. If this is describing a man, he is 50 or older, meticulous, strict, proud, aloof, and not particularly affectionate. Financially, it represents red tape to be resolved before money is received and or career advancement and legal matters. But it says that whatever he is pointing to on his left is what holds the key to the whole issue. There he is, that jackass. And what he is pointing to here or protecting himself from is this idea, okay, yeah, I'm going to accept it. I'm not happy with it, but I'm going to accept it. I can't let it go. That's what it says. Here we have the, I think this is the Six of Wands or clubs. Unexpected gain, a positive turn of events. It implies a situation in progress, a positive change of circumstance from the present condition, which usually comes out of the blue. It can represent a person that will thrive thanks to being in the right environment. It is a card of fulfilled dreams, harmonious relationship, a stroke of luck, and passive income. So in this respect, it indicates a successful investment, a fruitful get-rich-quick scheme, an inheritance, a scholarship, and sometimes luck when gambling. But basically, it says that all of these or any of these achievements will be successful due to a lucky streak, as this card does not imply having to spend a lot of time to obtain results. It comes as if they are fished out of water when one is expecting to catch something else much valuable. More often than not, it implies that you may have to jump at a chance that will be presented to you in the near future. It represents the arrival of good news, and it represents the present moment and things that are happening now. But then we have this reversed Five of Diamonds, the reversed Melancholia. It says reversed, it indicates a definite loss, setbacks, and more often than not, this card acts as a warning. There will be someone or something from the past that will come out of the woodwork, usually with alluring false motives to try and cause your downfall. What the Sibila are saying here is don't trust someone or something from the past. In love, it indicates many hours spent crying over a relationship and a deeply broken heart, but it heralds arguments and falling outs in any relationship. Financially, it's a card that represents debts and lawsuits and can also indicate poverty. It indicates that someone did not know how lucky they were until they lost the object of their happiness and affections, but it is now too late to do anything about it. See, he's coming back. Now, the Morte card, with this card of, somebody not wanting to just do right, not willing to accept the situation as it is. That's the peachy. And if I'm not mistaken, the Morte card is the Five of Spades. It is the card of the cosmic scissors. It cuts this flow of a situation and brings it to an irreversible end. Usually, it is a drastic clean cut from which one cannot go back. So, in this manner, the card can be positive in the instance of if it's the end of an addiction or of an abusive relationship. But it represents the end of the life cycle in the area inquired about. It represents something that has reached its end and that is now ready to die out or break down. Remember that death is abrupt and final, and it is the most drastic form of change from the material state to the spiritual one. Okay? So basically, this card has been chosen to represent all of those situations that will end abruptly and for good. But it also behaves in a peculiar way, as its function is that of deprivation. In other words, it negates whatever the other cards are saying. So in this respect, if it foretells of danger, it can negate a bad situation or avert danger. But by the same tokens, if it foretells of a happy marriage, then it negates that. So in other words, it's like a minus sign. This card is not bad in itself. Okay? But on its own, it heralds a painful and unwanted change. It merely indicates an ending to something or someone. sometimes a physical death, okay? In personal relationships, it indicates a separation, a breakup, extreme incompatibility, or someone that has done something which can never be taken back, and the relationship can never go back to the way it used to be. It represents metaphorically someone who has crossed the Rubicon and will never be able to go back in whatever way this applies to in whatever particular person or the question. It brands the person or situation with the mark of irreversibility. It also heralds the mighty fall of presumptions, threats, betrayal, and or public humiliation. Generally, it indicates a closure with something or someone, and it represents anything that is destined to die and to be finished with. So in this instance, it can indicate liberation and freedom from an oppressing condition. But it is always likely this change to come with a certain amount of discomfort and pain. It can also sometimes be related to bitterness and regret for not having said or done things before it is too late. It can also indicate someone who has been scarred by an event and who waves something about themselves like a flag in legal matters. It precludes any grounds for appeal, or it can indicate that a case will reach or has reached the highest court and there will be a final resolution. It foretells of drastic changes in one's financial circumstances. It can indicate swindles and dishonesty. This guy's just jerking around. That's the end of him. Okay? And he may be coming back like or offering you something, trying to like out of the goodness of his heart, but we already know what his character's like. Because here's this card. I think she's the Eight of Coins, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Now, it can represent a person of any sex who is skilled, a skilled liar, and someone who has no concept of truth or loyalty. This person, for it can also be a man near a significant card, has no spiritual conscience or moral codes by which to live. In this regard, it represents immorality, crassness, gaudiness, a lack of true refinement, as well as any seedy and dissolute situations. It indicates a lack of worth and real substance. In this regard, oh, no, hold on. It denotes something or someone that is worthless due to their lack of moral fiber. In love, it indicates licentiousness, lies, betrayal, and vindictiveness. It is the mark of a very negative partner, a chronic liar, and a cheat. This is the card of disagreements, arguments, and fallings outs amongst members of the same family. However, such arguments are not usually of really grave import. But the handkerchief, which represents a white flag when upright, is now symbolically taken down when reversed. And whatever that period of truce, it comes to an end, resulting in adversity and quarrels beginning anew, fueled by renewed rancor and vindictiveness. It is especially dangerous in financial matters as it foretells of investments that will yield no dividends, money that is not received no matter how promising it may look. It also indicates that something is too good to be true, nasty colleagues, bullying at work, or a very tense work environment full of lies and backstabbing. He's coming back. In that case, I don't think there's any love here. So I'm going to pull an Angel Answer card and one Nostradamus Golden Oracle card. You know the answer to this already. So don't be blindsided, honestly. The answer is no. And that's the final no. with the exclamation point. All right. Maybe your question was, is there any possibility that she is wrong? No. And that'd be funny if that was your question. One golden Nostradamus card, please. Maybe he can see what we cannot see. Formulate a question. I love this Nostradamus card deck. The tree. The final no. The response to your inquiry is a firm no. But you needn't worry, as you will see why this was the perfect answer as time goes by. But here's what Nostradamus has to share with you. If you cannot have what you want, then settle for what you can. The stability of the tree advises caution. It is not the right time to change or take risks. Save your energy and seek stability in mind and body. You're going to need it. That's what I have for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for May 2020. Quite interesting. I hope that these messages helped you. And until next time, namaste.